All right, Ran, Gainesville, Florida. Caleb Banks. He's going to be 24 years old when the season starts. So I don't know if that's a consideration for you or not, but that's his age. He's certainly a little older than some of the other players we've talked about. Verified 6'6", 334. And that, and along with being high waisted, is what reminded me a little bit of Deion Walker, at least a year ago this time, because there was a lot to like about Deion. Caleb started at Louisville, and then he's been at Florida ever since. This will be season 3 for him there. I always like to mention this because it lets me know this person takes non-football things seriously. In school, 2-time SEC academic honor roll in the fall, so I appreciate that. But I thought he was surprisingly explosive for his size. I thought he played with some juice. I mentioned high-waisted at 6'6". I thought he actually played with relatively low pad level in the run game, but I'll let you have the floor because this is your Gator colleague here, and you turned me on to him, so you're a big Caleb Banks fan.
Yeah, and I just want to say to producer Sharon about the statue out front. What Ryan's not telling you about the statue is it's me picking up Coach Spurrier's visor off the ground after he threw it. That's the piece that they got. But no, man, Caleb, if you look at particularly the last couple games, the LSU and the Ole Miss game, you see a dominant force. This guy was dominant in the run game. He's a massive built man who has size, length, raw strength, power, quickness. He has it all. And he can be a complete package if he puts it all together and plays more consistently. If he plays like he played those 2 games I mentioned, which was LSU and Ole Miss, then we're looking at a guy that I think will be a top 10, top 15 pick. I think he has the grip strength to control blocks. I think he easily stands up and posts offensive linemen in one-on-one situations. Now you see a little bit of the high pad level in terms of the pass rusher when he's getting off because he's trying to win with speed, but he can push and collapse the pocket. And I think his one real flaw that you see in his game is being a better finisher. I think sometimes he's either a step late or he just misses and doesn't get the ball on the ground. But was absolutely dominant in those 2 games that I watched. And you say Deion Walker, to me, I saw a little bit of DeForest Buckner in there, like for big men who have size, who have power, who have speed and quickness. Now, for me, Deion Walker was more of the smooth athlete. You could see a little bit of basketball in Deion Walker's game, just the smoothness and fluidity of it. I didn't see a twitchy, explosive, just powerful guy that had pop. All those things I just mentioned, like Caleb Banks has it. He has pop. Mm-hmm. He has twitch. You can see the strength in his body when he moves. So my comp for him, if he maximizes what he is and what he has in his body, is more DeForest Buckner.
So it sounds like I don't want to speak for you, so you can let me know. But it sounds like I like to think about other players that have come through the program that play similar positions. Last year, Cam Jackson, I liked a lot. He was at the Senior Bowl. He ended up being a day 3 pick. A few years ago, when Anthony Richardson was coming out, and you were at that pro day, you saw Jervon Dexter work out. And I thought Jervon had a chance to be special. He was just inconsistent. In terms of the sheer physical tools, how would you rank Dexter versus your guy Caleb?
I think Caleb has more. I think Caleb has more, and the size is probably similar. But I think Caleb Banks is a better athlete. I thought he was more twitchy. The issue I had with Jervon Dexter when he came out, he played so far off the ball, right? He didn't squeeze the ball. He didn't take up space between him and the offensive lineman, which initially, if you're playing 2 yards off the ball, then that instantly allows the offensive lineman to meet you on your side of the ball, and it's hard for you to recreate the line of scrimmage there. So I had a little bit of issue, and I even tried to do some digging to see if that was a part of the scheme that they were running at the time, or if that was self-imposed, and felt like it was more self-imposed as to the scheme. But again, and I'll say it again, if you can't watch the LSU and Ole Miss game and not feel like you see a dominant player, which is why I even reached out to you when I did, and we our relationship has grown to the point in my time here in that we talk a lot, and it's like, hey man, have you seen this guy? Hey, you probably need to watch this guy because this guy's good. This guy can ball. And this was one of the guys I was excited to call you and ask you, have you seen him, to make sure that you saw him. But again, with Caleb Banks and the guy we're going to talk to after the break, you could potentially see 2 interior defensive linemen go in the top 15 this year. I really believe that. And if I was ranking And again, maybe I'm crazy. Maybe that's why I'm sitting here talking to you on CBS and not from
Maybe.
Ascension St. Thomas Sports Park. But I think these top two defensive linemen are the top two in the entire defensive line class, which includes the edge guys.
That's crazy. So you love these two guys, but do you think this group overall along the defensive line, not including edge, is deeper or less deep than last spring's guys that got drafted? 30 guys got drafted in the first 7 rounds.
I think it's probably from what I've seen, it's a little less because I think last year's class had, more high end guys. Like we knew the Kenneth Grants, we knew the Mason Grahams. And again, some people are hit or miss on Tyleik Williams. I really like Tyleik Williams. And then you had Walter Nolan. And so you had that was just 4 or 5 guys right there in the first round at the interior defensive line position. I don't see 5 first-round picks out of this group that I've seen so far. Now there'll be someone that's going to come out of nowhere and make a name for themselves, and we'll see what happens. But right now, based off of what I've seen, which is probably close to 10 of these guys, just based off of their rankings throughout the scouting of the NFL, I see 2 real high possibility first-round picks, potentially top 15 picks in this interior D-line position.
And the other thing is I look over last year's draft class or last spring's draft class, names like TJ Sanders sort of got on our radar early in September. He had some good games. Alfred Collins, we had not talked a lot about until probably midway through the season out of Texas, was a second-round pick. Shamar Turner was the quote-unquote other Shamar at Texas A&M. He was a second-round pick and had a great season. Omar Norman Lott was at Tennessee. And then Darius Alexander, who's a little bit older out of Toledo, was at the top of the 3rd round. So there are opportunities certainly for all these guys to ball out and make their way. But as we sit here, I think Rand's exactly right in terms of the depth compared to last year's group.